In light of the fact that the Maryland Wine Festival is being held next month, and I like wine, and I had nothing else planned, I thought we'd take a look at some of the wineries in the Mount Airy area. First up, Elk Run. Elk Run planted its first vineyard in 1980. The winery now has more than 20 acres of grapes.
Sort of happenstance, we actually did a survey. We intended originally to buy a property in Virginia and wound up choosing Maryland instead. There wasn't much history back then about growing grapes, so people kind of taking chances.
We couldn't have timed our trip better. We arrived just in time for a group wine tasting. First up, tips for tasting wine.
Which I'm sure you know about. And covering your hand over the glass. Trapping down any of those gases to whiskey. And then when you're tired of shaking it, you stick your nose in all the way till you hit the glass. As far as you can get your nose into the glass and take a deep smell.
We also got to taste some Sweet Catherine, which is a winery's most popular wine, and came about by mistake.
The fermentation stuck, and that's the winery term meaning that the yeast stopped working before they completed their job of converting all the sugar into alcohol. So we had this sweet red wine, and normally when that happens, which isn't that uncommon, you can restart the process either by adding other fermenting juice in another batch, or adding more yeast, or whatever. So there's a number of techniques, but in this case, nothing worked. So here we were, not expecting to have this wine. Couldn't afford to throw it away, so we tried to sell it as a
Up next is Black Ankle Winery, which opened in October '08.
What it was that made some wines so good and some wines not so good. Sort of what goes into making that happen.
Owners Sarah O'Haron and Ed Boyce bought the property back in 2001 and started planting grapes in 2003. By 2006, they had the first harvest. At last year's wine festival, their 2006 Crumbling Rock was selected as a Governor's Cup winner. And it's easy to tell why.
When I poured for people, they were like, oh my gosh,
And the owners try to make the winery as environmentally friendly as possible.
Although we are not totally organic, we're trying to sort of grow the grapes as sustainably and kind of as far in that direction as we possibly can be. So we decided to try to pick up on those ideas in the building by building it first and foremost by materials almost entirely grown or found on our farm. These trees here you can see are just trees. We just took the bark off and used them as posts. The walls are actually insulated with bales of straw, so it's all straw grown on the farm. The interior walls are made from a clay plaster with all the stonework, the stones we pulled out of the vineyard. So it's just kind of as much as we could figure out from the farm to use, we did. And then the second idea, and these two things really go very easily, I mean they work together very easily, was this kind of building is just very eco-friendly.